The enchanting land of Jajagoda, where the children should be playing tag and eating ice cream, many are instead grappling with deformities and skin diseases. Yup, that's right. Toxic water and less than ideal living conditions seem to be the real bullies on the playground, leaving these kids particularly vulnerable. It's like a sci-fi movie, except instead of aliens, we have pollution running rampant. Now let's talk uranium. Mined deep in Jharkhand, this radioactive rock isn't just giving India a nuclear edge, it's also rolling out the red carpet for devastating health crises among the local tribal populations. So, while India is strutting down the nuclear runway, the folks in Jajagoda are left battling health issues like it's their new Olympic sport. Not exactly the prize they were hoping for. As we peel back the layers of this onion, we see that the broader implications scream systemic neglect. The community is like a fish out of water, unprepared, and exposed to health risks that would make any superhero shudder. It's a rallying cry for awareness and change, like when you realize that drinking 3 cups of coffee before an exam isn't actually a good idea. What's causing this health havoc, you ask? Well, let's give a round of applause to radioactive elements in the water, courtesy of uranium tailings. Yep, these lovely little leftovers are contaminating local rivers and water supplies like a bad guest at a party who just won't leave. And using this tainted water? Well, that's like swimming in a pool of doom. Mining operations might be happening deep underground, but their repercussions are a very real surface-level horror show. Residents have been living with the impact for decades, like unwelcome guests that have overstayed their welcome. The invisible dangers of radiation are like a bad magic trick, except instead of pulling a rabbit out of a hat, we're left wondering about long-term health consequences. Unfortunately, many residents are blissfully unaware of the lurking risks from uranium mining, like going into a horror movie without knowing it's rated R. This lack of awareness is like driving without a seatbelt, dangerous and pretty reckless. Education and some solid awareness are key to ensuring the community doesn't turn into a real-life horror story. In the midst of this chaos, several families report a heart-wrenching tale of loss, with multiple children lost to health issues. It's like a community crisis that's too heavy to ignore. If this doesn't tug at your heartstrings, I don't know what will. It's high time we shine a spotlight on these struggles. After all, we can't have the world overlooking a tragedy while they're busy binge-watching their favorite series. Meet Karthik, a little warrior who's battling significant health challenges from the moment he took his first breath. He relies heavily on his mother for basic care, showcasing the emotional and physical toll this fight takes on caregivers. It's like a real-life superhero origin story, except it involves doctor visits instead of capes, and let's be honest, we could use a few more capes here. The discussion of government policies like uranium development is like trying to watch a bad sitcom. You expect it to be funny, but it just leaves you feeling frustrated. These initiatives seem more focused on benefiting the big players rather than families dealing with health crises. It's no wonder there's a growing distrust in governmental support, a little like trusting that last slice of pizza at a party. With toxic materials being transported around like they're the latest trendy accessory, uranium mining is a ticking health time bomb for local populations. This careless handling leads to long-term exposure that's as inviting as a porcupine at a petting zoo. No wonder people are raising ethical concerns about labor conditions. It's like expecting to sit on a cactus and being surprised when it hurts. The local community is stuck in a paradox, suffering from a lack of basic amenities and healthcare, all while the wealth of resources is being extracted right under their feet. It's like being at a party where you see all the snacks getting devoured, but you're just sitting there with an empty plate. Their struggles often fall on deaf ears, overshadowed by the allure of economic development, because who needs clean water when you can have corporate profits, right? And just when you thought things couldn't get any crazier, the government and mining companies are playing the blame game. Instead of tackling the detrimental effects of mining, they're pointing fingers at local conditions like they're auditioning for a bad movie. This reveals a systemic disregard for the well-being of tribal populations, leaving us all wondering if they'll ever get the memo. Spoiler alert, they probably won't.